Good morning, it's Sunday. I'm about to start a new knitting project and I thought I could make my first vlog about it. I'm going to be making the Mood Beanie by Spectacle Strick. I have already made one of these, which I can actually show you because it's here. This was essentially a very large gauge swatch because I couldn't think of a better way to do a colour work gauge swatch in the round. I thought by the time I just didn't really know how to do that, and I thought I'll just make one hat to begin with and see how it goes, and then I had a few colourways that I wanted to make anyway, so I thought I'll just start with one and see how it goes. It did actually turn out quite well. Two things happened. First of all, I was meant to do black and light grey, and I was knitting in a very dimly lit room and I accidentally picked up a beige version of the same yarn, so it isn't the perfect colourway, but I don't mind that because I think I would like to do another version of this in black and grey with a checkerboard motif, and that is also what I'm going to be doing with the project I'm about to start. I have modified this chart to a checkerboard design, so the smiley faces now line up but they have checkerboard backgrounds, and each alternating smiley face, one is upside down and one is the right way around. I am going to make this one in red and pink. I have the same kind of wool. I'm happy with the sizing of the hat overall. The only thing is that I probably started the decreases a little bit too early. I'll show you it on. It's just a little bit shorter than what I would like. Please excuse, oh my gosh. So it does look quite cute when it's on, but there's just absolutely no extra hat at the back. And I wanted it to be a slightly slouchier beanie. So this time around, I'm just gonna knit more of the colourwork pattern before I start decreasing. So yeah, that's the plan for today. Also have to nip to Hobbycraft, which is, if you're not from the UK, is just like a craft store. Doesn't have an amazing selection of yarn usually, but has a lot of other things. And I need to get some buttons from there for my cardigan, which I've just finished. This is the Novice Cardigan Chunky Edition by Petite Knit. I knit that in Drops Air and it's the first time I've used it, and I love how lightweight it's made the whole garment feel, but I need to get some buttons for it. It's a very plain, just brown cardigan. I really like brown on me as like a good neutral, but I don't want it to be too boring, so I'm going to go and try and find some cool buttons to put on it. I think some flower shaped ones, maybe like daisies, would be really nice. So I'm going to take you along to Hobbycraft just in case we discover any fun yarns while we're there. So I did manage to find some buttons, but I'm not 100% sure on whether the ones I prefer are going to fit or if they're going to be a bit too small. So I got these like really cute little sparkly clear ones, but I think they could be too small. So I also got these as a backup just in case, which is just like little wooden brown ones. I actually prefer this side of them though, so I think I'll sew them on that way if I end up using those. But I am going to weave in the ends now and sew some on and see how they work, and then I'll show you the finished product. I just want to show you the cardigan as well. This is how it currently looks. I've already blocked it. Really happy with the length and the fit. Literally just need to put some buttons on it. But I'm really happy with this cardigan and how it turned out. It's the second ever cardigan I've knit, and the first one I used a wool in the gang pattern for, which I probably wouldn't recommend because the wool was really expensive and it was all knit in separate pieces and sewn together, which, sorry, my cats have been really annoying. It was all knit in separate pieces and sewn together, which I personally hate doing. So this was a really nice knit because it's all just knit on one pair of needles in one go. And yeah, I was a bit worried that as soon as I started, I was like, maybe brown is too boring a colour to pick. but I really just wanted a good everyday wear cardigan that was a neutral that I could wear with anything. So these cats. So I am really happy with it, and I'm happy with the length. And yeah, just a really simple, easy cardigan. I definitely recommend it for a beginner if you want to make a cardigan. It's very well explained, very straightforward. I don't think there was any bits of the pattern that confused me at all. So these are my actual button options against the cardigan. I think the other way for these buttons actually doesn't contrast as much as I'd want it to, although they would look very subtle that way. I really like the sparkly ones, but I just don't know if they're going to be big enough or if they're going to get lost in the cardigan. But I'm going to, oh, I keep dropping it. I'm going to sew these ones on first and see what I think, and then try it on and see. Just finished sewing them on, and they do fit, they're not too small, and I love the look of them. And I just love these little buttons. I think they just add something a little bit more fun to it rather than the classic kind of tortoiseshell style round ones like the sample picture in the pattern had. Not that there's anything wrong with those if that's your vibe, but I already thought because the cardigan was kind of a boring colour that it needed something a little bit fun. Yeah, I'm really, really happy with how it's turned out. It's just the perfect length, the perfect drape, very nice and slouchy, and I probably would usually wear it open, but it does button up if I want it to. It looks nice with just one button done up. Yeah. So I'm just about to start casting on the new hat. One of the main things I'm going to change is I originally knit, the first section is just stockinette, and it recommends knitting this on a 3mm needle. I didn't have a 3mm needle, I just couldn't find mine, so I did 2.75, but I think it just made it a little bit too tight. Basically what you do is you knit the first section all in stockinette with your colour work, and then you do a short row and turn and knit then the rest from here onwards. I'm just going to start this time with a 3.5mm needle, I think, and what I'm going to do is, because I find it rolls up so much because of the stockinette, when I get to the point where I'm ready to turn, I'm going to knit this section onto the new knitting on the inside so that hopefully it doesn't roll up so much. And I think I would prefer a slightly looser brim anyway, so hopefully that should work. Other than that, I'm mainly just going to increase the height of the overall hat. But I'm really happy with this one as a first attempt. A lot of the comments in the Ravelry patterns were saying how they don't like the way that the decreases are on the pattern work, and you can see that the faces kind of just disappear into the decreases, but I actually don't mind it too much. I think it's not very noticeable when you're wearing it, and you still get some of the faces that aren't affected throughout, so it kind of just looks like these ones are melting into the decreases. Now the yarn I'm going to use for the new one is these two. This is Wool in the Gang's Feeling Good yarn. I'm not sure of the shade, but I'll look it up. And this is Rowan Softest Alpaca, and these are basically very similar yarns. They have the same construction and I think the exact same fibre content. They're both blown yarns, which is what the pattern recommended, but the pattern recommended Ralma Puno Petite. I'm not sure if I've said Ralma right. I couldn't find somewhere that I could easily buy that, and I couldn't actually find many places to buy it at all, I don't think. So I'm not sure if that yarn's been discontinued. The yarn weight was slightly different to these, which is why the first one was kind of an experimental hat. I couldn't find a similar blown yarn of that yarn weight, and the other suggested alternative yarns were not, they didn't have any kind of fluff to them, and I wanted to do a more fluffy version. So that's why I settled on these, and having knit this one, I feel like it is definitely a slightly chunkier yarn, because one of the comments again on lots of the Ravelry patterns that I saw was that the hat knits up small. I knit up a small, which was actually unintentional. I've just cast on the wrong number of stitches. I read 100, whereas the medium's actually 110. So I cast on 100, and I think this fits really well. So I would say that because of the bulkier yarn weight, it's knit up bigger than the yarn that they suggest. So that's something to bear in mind. So I wouldn't know how to suggest somebody else do this hat in the same yarn, because I think it really depends on your tension. And I actually don't know how to like swatch for colour work in the round. I did try and look it up, but I couldn't really get, like, I was confused by the answers. So yeah, that's why I did the experimental one, but it worked out well for me. So with the next one, I want the brim to perhaps be slightly longer. I think the way the stockinette is rolling up is meaning it's just folding in a little bit more than I want it to. And I just want the overall hat to be slightly longer, but I basically want everything else to be the same. I don't know if it's a mistake, therefore, to knit the stockinette in slightly larger needles, but I do think it doesn't need to be as tight as it is. So we'll see. Sorry if you can hear my cat. He is an orange cat, so he just meows. He's okay. He doesn't need anything. So I think I've done enough of the colour work now to be sure that I'm definitely happy with the way the pattern's turning out. I think this is going to look really cool. I've spent about 2 evenings on it so far, so I reckon probably 2 more evenings and I'll be done with the hat. But this time around I'm going to make sure that I keep trying it on and making sure that I'm happy with the length. The decreases do happen quite fast, so I basically want to get it to the desired length before I start decreasing. Last time I thought I would end up with a lot more length when doing the decreases, and that turned out to be a mistake. So yeah, but I love the checkerboard. It's so cute. Okay, so last night I got up to where I wanted to be before I do my turn and work on the other side. Really happy with the way the colours are knitting up and the pattern. I am a little bit concerned that maybe this time the stockinette looks a bit too loose and that's allowing it to roll up lots more. But I'm hoping what will basically happen when I fold it in is I'm just going to knit it. When I do my turn, I'm going to knit it to the other side, and then hopefully that will just sort itself out. It's going to be hidden anyway. But yeah, I reckon that's probably enough. What do we reckon? Is it a look yet? I reckon that's probably enough brim height. And it fits nice, so if my plan works, excellent. Okay, I actually ended up putting down that project for like 2 weeks just because the weather really warmed up in the UK, which made me not that motivated to finish it, just because I wanted to start working on some summer knits. But I do want to finish it, so last night I picked it back up. So I'm currently this far through the main section of the hat. This here is where it's gonna fold up. So I just need to knit a few more rounds of the colourwork chart, I think, and then it will be time to start decreasing. So this is what it looks like on currently. So yeah, I just need about another maybe inch or so before decreasing. I can't remember, I need to double check the length it needs to be knitted to in the pattern. But I am really happy with the result. The only thing is when I knit this bit together, it kind of skewed the pattern very slightly, but it's more on one side than the other, so I'll just make sure that the front side that I'm wearing is the side that's not so skewed. That's probably just because I should have probably knit the stockinette still in a smaller needle size, but I didn't. But it's working out well, it fits nicely and I'm happy with it. So yeah, I am going to work on it for the rest of the afternoon. It's Saturday and it's a really nice day, and I think I will sit in the garden with the cats and do some knitting. Also this morning I did finally go to a yarn shop just outside of Sheffield in Chesterfield called Nibbles, Needles and Hooks, I think, or Needles, Nibbles and Hooks. I will put it down below. Basically it's a really cute little yarn shop that sells like cake and tea and stuff, and it was very, very cute. As soon as me and my friend walked in, the guy working there was so helpful. He came over and was like, is it your first time? And like talked us through all of the different yarn weights and where to find different yarns and stuff. And they do Indie Dye of the Month. They also do Maker of the Month. So this month they had like project bags that have been made by someone that they were selling. They also have 4 local dyers whose yarn they always stock, and then they stock brands like Malabrigo. So it was really fun. I didn't get too much because I'm going to a yarn festival next weekend, the East Anglia Yarn Fest, with my sister, but I did get this Malabrigo in its fingering weight in the shade Jasmine. I just thought this was such a lovely green. I'm gonna knit, I think I'm gonna knit Camisole number 3 by My Favourite Things with it. It's just so pretty, and I thought it would be a nice shade for summer, but that's all I got because I was trying to be restrained. Also, my friend made me this cute little crochet bag, and it's just the perfect size to fit a little bit of yarn shopping in. So I did that this morning, which was a really nice way to spend the morning because it's so sunny. And now I'm going to work on the hat, so hopefully the next time I see you I will be done with the hat, please, so I can start some summer knitting. Also, this is the cat that you will have heard howling in an earlier bit of this video. I remember there was a day when I was talking about something and he was just howling and howling in the background. This is just to show you that he's perfectly fine and not mistreated.
The mohair isn't the exact same color as the merino, but they blend really, really nicely.
Okay, the hat is finished, it just needs blocking. It's Sunday morning now and I'm going to block it today. I still don't love the way the decreases look and the top of the hat is shaped. So I am hoping that maybe I can stretch out this length a little bit with blocking, and that also where I've actually decreased these bits relax a bit. They didn't look like this on these sample knits, but obviously I have changed the yarn, so maybe my yarn is just sitting more structured at the top. I think I'm going to spray block it because I'm afraid the colours will run. When I was knitting with it, nothing came off my hands or anything like that, but I already feel like the fuzziness of the red is like distorting some of the lightness of the pink. So I'm going to carefully spray block it and then maybe sort of trim off that excess fuzziness. I don't know. And then I'll show you if there's any changes to the size. So that's it, the hat's blocked. I'm really happy with the way it's relaxed after blocking. I can't lie, I kind of had beef with this pattern after finishing this one, because I felt like it had just come out exactly the same as the black and beige one, and was kind of like not happy with how different it looked from the pattern. But it's like I just forgot that blocking existed, because I hadn't blocked the black and beige one either. That's on the blocking mats now as well. But yeah, it's like I just forgot blocking existed. It looks so much better after blocking. So my advice if you're making this would be not to panic if you haven't blocked it yet and it feels really different from the pattern, because mine felt so structured and rounded at the decreases. Also, I worried that was just the yarn that I'd used because it was different from the pattern suggestion. But it has relaxed so much after blocking. I am really, really happy with the way it's turned out. The only thing that bugs me kind of is I wish I thought more about this. So I had lined up the this one, so it had a red background with this one, so it was like a continuous checkerboard. But that's really picky. I don't think it's noticeable. I'm really happy with it overall. Would definitely recommend this pattern, or even if you wanted to make a different beanie pattern and just input the colour chart, I would definitely recommend it. Just make sure that if you're going to use significantly different sized wool and your stitches might be a lot smaller or whatever, you might need to think differently about how to plan the colour chart. But yeah, really happy with it. It's such a nice spring day, but it is kind of chilly still, so it's the perfect day to wear it. And yeah, the blacking beige one is still blocking, so I will come back with the results of that one as well and see if it's grown a little bit more at the crown, because that's what was bothering me with the other one. But yeah, overall, very happy with my first mini project. That's probably going to be the end of the vlog. Actually, no, I'm going to share the result of the black and beige beanie that I showed at the beginning after that's blocked, because I didn't realise what a difference blocking would make to these hats, so I will share the results of that as well. Okay, I've blocked the black and beige beanie now as well. Sorry about the bad lighting in here. And yeah, it fits loads better. Still obviously shorter than the other one because I did less decreases on this one, but I am really happy with how they've both turned out. So yeah, I think I'll call it the end of the vlog there. If you did like the video, please leave a comment or subscribe, because this is my first ever YouTube video, so I'd really appreciate it. I am going to East Anglia Yarn Festival this weekend with my sister, so I'm probably going to record that and hopefully make a vlog out of it too. And I think either that or a knitting podcast will be my next video, because I have made a few things this year that I'd like to talk about in more depth. But yeah, thanks very much for watching.